today. Okay, Harley, so today we have something called imperfecto. Imperfecto is also a past tense, okay? But I remember I told you a couple of days ago, I said that do you feel the difference when we say, do you hear the difference when we say, for example, I ate and I used to eat?
Yeah.
Okay, what does I ate and I used to eat? Like, how are they different? What makes you feel that those are completely different sentences?
I mean, I ate could mean now or just a few, I guess,
Yeah,
present,
okay.
but I
Not
used
not
to,
necessarily present. It's also the past tense, but I really understand what you're saying in the sense that it sounds like it happened recently, right?
yeah,
It happened more recently. Very good. Now, if I say
used to.
I used to eat, what does
That
it
could be
sound like?
anything. That could be whenever.
Exactly. Okay. So that is one difference. And I love that you caught it. Exactly. That is one of the main things that it does. So in grammar terms, the way that they explain it is that one action ended. For example, I ate, right? And I used to eat also ended. But the difference is that it kind of tells me more of a story, tells me more of a time in my life where something happened, meaning that maybe that action happened more than once, for example. Like if I say I used to eat it, it doesn't mean that I ate once. For example, I used to eat pizza, and the next word could be every day, or it could
Right.
be in the evenings. So that would mean that it was an action that we did more than once, right?
Hmm.
And it's very different to say like I ate pizza yesterday. That makes it sound like it just happened yesterday. It happened once, and it's also an action that ended. So do we understand that difference so far?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So that keeping that in mind, Harley, this imperfecto, let's read.
Used for ongoing past actions, repeated habits, descriptions, childhood memories, and things you used to do.
Very good. Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's read now the time markers.
Antes, cuando, era, I guess it's era,
Era, era.
era,
Very
niño,
good.
niña,
Yeah.
siempre, frecuente,
Read it again.
frecu, quin, frecuentemente,
Frecuentemente.
frecuentemente,
Yes, frecuentemente. What do you think that means?
frequently,
Exacto. When you have mente, that's like saying li in English. For example,
the ly,
absolutely. What was that?
the ly ending.
Exacto, exacto. They are all mente. For example, absolutely would be in English. I almost said the Spanish one, but how would you say absolutely in Spanish?
Absolutamente,
¿Otra vez?
absolutamente,
Absolutamente. There is a ta that we add in
absolutamente.
there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes we add an A or an E, and you're not always gonna guess it, but it's good that you know the mente, okay? That's a
Okay.
great start. So, absolutamente. Very good. It means absolutely. Now, what else?
Antes
Absolutely.
means before.
What was that? Antes? Yes. Antes means before.
Okay.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. Antes means before. So, absolutely is absolutamente correcto. Now, constantly.
What's the word again? Constantly?
Constantly. Mm-hmm.
Constantemente?
Constantemente.
Constantemente.
Constantemente. Constantemente. Very good. Okay, so that's the rule with that. Okay, so now going back to the imperfecto, let's remember this is more like an I used to. Okay, I used to do this action. Now, again, it's different because the simple past just says I ate and the action ended. I went out last night. I danced for 3 hours. I worked for 8 hours, right? All those actions, in a way, they happened and they ended. And in a way, we also have a better idea on when they started. Like, it's a little bit more specific, right? But if I
Okay.
say I used to eat, it's a little bit more vague, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more vague. It doesn't really specify when it happened. Now, the time markers are kind of vague like that. For example, antes, which means
Before?
exactly. So it doesn't tell me when, just says antes. It says like before when. I don't really know. It's not like ayer, which is yesterday, which is very precise, right?
Yeah.
This one is just before. Before when? I don't really know. So that's one difference between the simple past and the imperfecto. Okay. And it kind of says it on its name, right? Imperfecto. Like it's not perfect.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't really tell you much.
Precise.
Exactly. It's vague. It's imperfecto, it's vague. All right. So then we have cuando era niño. Any idea what that means? What is niño?
Boy.
Yeah, could be a child. Yeah, a boy or a girl, right? Like
Uh-huh.
well, niña would be a girl, right?
Yeah.
So cuando era niño, cuando era niña. Perfect. So what do you think it means, the whole thing?
Maybe when I was.
When I was, exactly. And it does tell me a little bit more precisely when it happened, right? Because it's telling me like when I was a boy, but at the same time, it's not that precise, like yesterday, correct?
Mm. Exactly.
Does that make sense still?
Uh-huh.
That's still making sense?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Okay, okay. So then the
So
next
era
one,
means I was. Sim.
for the most part, for the most
Okay.
part, correct. Yeah. So cuando era niño, when I was a boy, when I was a child or niña. Yeah, perfect. Now, siempre means
Always.
always, yeah? So something it could be like, I used to always eat at my grandma's during winter time, for example.
Yeah.
So I would always do that. Or also, I would never, like when I was living alone, I would never eat out. I would always cook at home, for example. I would never eat out. I would always cook at home when I was living on my own. And again, it's vague. It doesn't really tell me when it happened. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Perfect. Okay. And then the other one, frequently. Frequently, constantly, occasionally, all of these things, they can also be used for this type of tense. Meaning, I would frequently go to the pizza place around the corner when I was in college. I would constantly travel with my family when I worked for the tour travel company. I don't know. I would constantly, frequently, what else did I say? Occasionally, I would
Usually.
occasionally,
Usually.
usually, very good. I would usually listen to the radio while I was reading the newspaper. And again, I don't know exactly when. It's just telling me sometime in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay. Now, what else do we have? Okay. Now, how do we do the conjugation? Okay. I want you to focus on here, aba, and ia and ia. Okay. Now, if you have a verb that ends with ar, you're gonna say aba for yourself. Okay. Aba, abas for you. Aba for he, she, it again. It repeats itself. It's aba for both I and he, she, it. Then habamos. What do you think that would be with the mos at the end?
We,
We, excellent. And what about the N at the end? What would that mean?
they,
Correcto. Okay. So if I say haba, for example, antes hablaba mucho. What am I saying? Antes hablaba mucho.
before you used to speak a lot.
Exactly. Before, I used to speak a lot. Very good. But maybe now I'm more a reserved person. I'm more quiet of a person, right? So now
Uh,
I don't really speak that much, right?
yeah.
Um, but also I'm not really specifying when it was that I started, like, sorry, that I was very chatty. I'm just saying before. Does that
All
make
right.
sense too?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Now, if my verb ends with ar, I'm gonna say aba. Okay? So hablaba. How would you say, by the way, if we want to talk about years, like for example, the 90s, we would say los, like the this time. Los noventas, for example. That would be the 90s. You know how to say 90?
Uh, Noventa,
Correcto. 90, okay? Now, 90, los noventas.
Los
Los
Ventas,
noventas, the 90s. Very good. How would you say the 80s?
Los Ochentas,
Correcto. Mhm. The 70s.
Los Sietes,
Setentas.
Setentas.
Sietes is just seven, the sevens.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so
Jesus,
70 would be
Sesenta,
seven. Setenta. Setenta.
Setenta,
And 60 would be? See? Yeah.
Siete,
You were so close before. You were
seis Sietes,
60.
Se-
60.
Sesenta. Okay.
Yeah,
I
60.
learned these
Okay.
before, and they come and go in my brain.
Yeah, yeah. It's enta
'Cause
for
this
the
is
most part
the
when you're.
numbers is my favorite thing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, we can learn that next. Okay. So, in so how would you say in the 90s, I used to work a lot.
What would be used to?
Well, so that's the really cool part. By just changing the ending, like we've been doing,
Oh,
then
so
that
I don't
would have.
even need to say that.
Ah,
I don't even need to put that in there.
yeah, you wouldn't really need to say used to. You would just need to focus on the ending. And if your verb is ar, which trabajar, with trabajar, sorry, what would you need to say?
Um,
What is the endings that it's telling you here on the chart?
ABA.
Baby A. Okay, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna drop the AR and you're gonna put ABA. Therefore, I used to work would be
Traba, Trababa,
one more time.
Trababa,
Trabajaba. Don't miss the J. We still want the J. Trabajaba.
Trabahaba.
Haba.
Okay.
The reason why it's haba like that is because you're not gonna drop the J.
Oh,
you're just going to be dropping the AR, right? And the whole word is trabajar. That means that you still have a J in there. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
So you're not going to drop it. You're just going to drop the
Traba,
R.
haba. Trabajaba?
Trabajaba. Exactly.
Trabajaba.
Trabajaba. That makes it I used to work.
Okay.
Okay. Or I would work. In the 90s, I would work a lot. In the 80s, I used to work a lot. It's the same thing, okay? Like I would or I used to. That's how we translate it in English. That's the closest thing to this past tense that we have in English.
Okay. So
Because it doesn't really exist in English, by the way. Not in the same way it does in Spanish.
okay.
Hmm. You
Be
had a
los
question, sorry?
it'd be los noventas trabajaba.
En los noventas. Mhm. En los noventas, you want to say in the
Los
90s.
en los noventas trabajaba mucho.
Excelente. En los
Okay.
90 trabajaba mucho. Now, do you know the word for play?
Jugar?
Jugar, beautiful. How would you say I used to play?
Jugaba?
One more time.
Jugaba?
Jugaba, jugaba.
Jugaba.
Yes,
Jugaba.
perfect. You got it right. It was just the pronunciation. Very good. Jugaba, trabajaba, jugaba. Okay, perfect. All right. So how would you say, um, I I would always play with my daughters after school. You can start, by the way, with always.
Okay. Siempre
Mm-hmm.
jugaba. Jugaba.
Mm-hmm.
Después, escuela.
Siempre jugaba. Very good. With whom?
Oh, mi hija.
Mis hijas. Mis hijas.
Oh, hija.
Very good. Very good. So say it again.
What was the sentence again? Because I started writing in English and then I started in Spanish.
No worries.
I didn't finish it.
No
I
worries.
would always
I
play
would always play. No, yeah. I would always play
with
with
my daughter
my
after
with
school.
my daughters after school. Let's say I would always play basketball with my daughters after school, for example. So it has a little bit more context. You pretty much had it, by the way. So
Okay.
like from what you were saying, it really sounded pretty good.
Siempre jugaba
Hmm.
baloncesto
Baloncesto, yeah.
con mis hijas
Mm.
después escuela
Después de la escuela. Very good.
de la
De la.
escuela.
Después de la escuela.
Okay. All right.
Perfect. So siempre jugaba con mis hijas. Sorry, siempre jugaba baloncesto. By the way, we also say basketball in Mexico.
Okay.
We say basketball in Mexico for the most part. Spain again would probably say more like baloncesto. I don't really know a whole lot of people in Mexico that would say baloncesto.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, the last thing, now let's use er and okay, actually, let's just read these examples.
Cuando era niña,
Mm-hmm.
habla, hablaba mucho.
Mm-hmm.
Antes comía
Mm-hmm.
más dulces.
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 Dulces. Uh-huh.
What is that?
Dulces. Mm-hmm. Dulce. Oh, sorry. Dulces means candy.
Okay. Siempre vivamos cerca
Mm-hmm.
del mar.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
What is cerca del mar? I know I've heard
Cerca.
that. Cerca de
Cerca means
close
near.
to something, right?
Yes, near, close. Close to what?
Oh, mar is watch.
Mar, watch? No. Mar means the sea.
Oh, sea. Okay.
Mm-hmm. The sea. Mm-hmm. The beach, in a way. Okay. So, what do you think that means?
We always live close to the sea.
Exactly. We always lived close to the sea. Exactly. And how do you know it was we?
The AMOS.
Correcto. Very good. Okay, what about this one? Antes comía más dulce. And dulces means candy.
Let me see here. Before I used to eat uh more candy.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Before, I used to eat more candy. Yeah. Or like, in some pastime of my life, in some period of my life, I used to eat more candy. Okay, what about the first sentence?
When I was a girl, I spoke a lot.
Yeah, I used
Speak.
to speak a lot, right? Like I would never shut up as a kid,
Uh-huh.
which is actually true.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right, Harley, does that make sense? Is it
Yes.
making sense? So what's the difference between this past tense and the other past tense, Harley?
Well, I mean, these were actions you used to do.
Exactly. And the other past tense, what does it do?
It was more of a time.
It's more precise, right?
Yeah.
So yesterday, last night, last week, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, right?
Yeah.
But this one is more like a little bit more vague, right? When I was a child, when I used to work for this company, when I was living in this country, when I was, a teenager, when I was living alone. It doesn't really tell me exactly, right, what
Uh-huh.
happened. So, yeah, that's when we use this tense. All right. Okay, Harley. So the next one is going to be pretérito perfecto compuesto, which we kind of talked about a while back when we were playing the game. Have you ever done something, right?
Uh-huh.
Like never have I ever, like that drinking game. But let's leave that for the next class.
Okay.
I would like to just focus on the imperfecto because it's slightly hard to grasp at first. But yeah, let's do it for Wednesday, okay?
Okay.
How are you feeling? All good?
Yeah, I'm good. I do got a question for you.
Of course.
From the looks of your screen, you must trade, huh?
I no, I used to. I trade for a little. What gives you that kind of oh yeah, trader
Trading
rate
view.
and trading view, of course. Yeah, so it was it's a long story. Give me 1 second. Let me just stop this.